I saw you talking on another show about trust and trust state changes and this concept, and I was hoping you could tell us about that because I find this idea really, really core to this, not just the sales process. Of course, it's important to the sales process, but this is a very small world. And if someone doesn't trust you, that means they're, when you change jobs and you go work at another vendor or you're on the other side, we deal with the same buyers all the time. And Steve and I have changed jobs 3 or 4 times, and we're selling to the same people at Goldman Sachs, or we're selling to the same people at JP Morgan Chase or Barclays or RBS or any of those things. And if you damage your credibility, then they're going to not trust you at the next job. So this is really important concept, and I'd just like to hear about this trust state changes idea that you talk about.
Thank you. Well, yes, and just to finish off, you said you need to teach people to say no. I don't know it. I often think that it's worth one admission that you don't know something builds more trust than a whole meeting worth of stuff that you say you do know, because they don't know whether or not you're just making it up. But if you say, no, I don't know that, I'm sorry, but I will find out for you instantly, well, you're not going to make that up. So that's instant trust. But trust state changes. Yes. So this is something which I hit upon actually in Austin with one of my team called Ty. So shout out to Ty, who, by the way, used to run one of the most successful Apple stores. He used to run it in Seattle. Now, Ty and I were working on trust state changes. And this is built up from there are a number of actions that each stakeholder must achieve in order to give the sign off. We're going to simplify things a little. We all know that there's at least 10 to 14 on average stakeholders in any big enterprise deal these days. However, we're just going to focus on the CFO. So imagine then that the CFO has to make sure, or wants to make sure, that creating waterfall reports in the new software is easy. Not can it be done, because you can find that on the website. We do waterfall reports. Brilliant. Okay, nice. But is it easy? This person's going to have to do this complex stuff. It's a pain to do in Excel. Is the new tool going to be able to help with that and make that person's life a lot easier? Well, there's a number of ways that they can do that. But they are currently in a state where they don't trust that your solution is going to be able to help them do waterfall reports easily. So think of the needle as being pointed over to one side. Currently in the don't really trust it yet. What we're trying to get them to is the I do trust side, where yes, I believe it is going to work. I trust that this is going to do what we need. I'm going to be able to make these waterfall reports. Brilliant. And so the distance between I don't trust and I do trust will change for the person that you're dealing with, so the stakeholder, and the action that they're trying to achieve. If it's will I be able to create the full annual reports in a way that will meet our ESG requirements of our business and future businesses, cool, that's a big old difference. If it's waterfall reports, easy, then you don't have to move the needle very far. And what happens is someone, the CFO, says to the project manager that you're working with, waterfall reports are important for me. Can we make sure we cover that? Pre-sales person hears that. Oh my goodness, I'm amazing at waterfall reports. We'll spend 15 minutes of the hour doing waterfall reports. Now, of course, this is fine. Of course, hopefully the CFO actually turns up to the meeting. But if they don't, you've prepped a quarter of the time on waterfall reports for something that the person's not there. And really, it only needed a slight change. So what I'm saying with trust state changes is more than just we're doing a persona map of who needs what, but understanding out of the stakeholders that you've got, what is it? What are those little ticks, those actions that must happen? And what method are you going to apply to achieve that trust state change? Because the ability to do waterfall reports easily, it could be on the website, it could be a little demo, it could be a little frequently asked questions demo that takes 2 minutes, it's been sent across, the person can watch it whilst they're walking the dog, done. Now that didn't cost you much, it cost you something like a month and a half ago when the person had to record their screen. But then everyone now can service that need whenever anyone is asking. So that's a very much a one-to-many. If you think about Steve, the rope score, John Care's rope score, the return on pre-sales effort. That's a great rope score. Record a little video, gets used by everybody. So that's the little thing. That's one method. It could be that, it could be a document. It could be a YouTube video. It could be all kinds of different methods. There's a cost. Yes, but we so often talk about buyers and think that they're one person, and we talk about problems and we lump them into the ones that we sort of think we know. Now, this is, of course, you were saying about discovery earlier. This is where discovery is very important. But sometimes you discover all of the things, but you need to know how much of a trust change you're trying to affect. If they already kind of think that it's good, and then you spend lots of time moving a needle that's pretty much over there anyway, you're spending your pre-sales time, this valuable consultative time, on not much. So find different methods to attach to that. And then so you plot all of the different trust state changes that need to happen in one of your classic deals. And then when you do your discovery, you add on some specifics about that customer. Work out which method is most likely to help that stakeholder achieve that trust state change, and then work out the price and to whom. So the more trust state changes you can get to flick across automatically, self-service or by the buyer, you're not paying for. You've created that journey for them to move through smoothly and learn. Tick, 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 tick. It's going along nicely. The ones that are like, oh, that's where you need to be. That's where the live meeting happens. And so all of these ones that need a heavy shift across, they are all in your live meeting. And that's when you are applying your very expensive people to very worthy, very expensive problems.